Hold on. You can't go any further. Is that how you sneeze?
No, I was trying to say excuse me because I was about to sneeze.
God. Super excited. It's so secretive. Your sauce is so secret, dude.
Whoa. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to May the Zoo Be Without George, your favorite TCG podcast featuring none other than my good friend and yours, Mr. Donald. Donald, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
We have a guest this week. I don't know if he qualifies as a guest.
I don't think Donald counts as a guest. When he can walk in the front door and open your fridge, that's not a guest.
Yeah, I guess. Family. We have a different. George got more hair. How about that?
Not by a lot. Not by a lot.
And I am also joined by the guy. You can read his name on his mug. Why do you have a mug with your name on it?
Because I don't tell my family no to the gifts they give me, Louis. I'm caring and I accept them.
That is. Oof.
And often I forget who I am, so you know.
I don't know how to handle that one, to be honest.
I made Louis a gift one time. It's up above his head. You can't actually see it.
He threw that away.
He hides it. I thought he did, but it's actually there.
He made a kitchen table logo out of those little things that my kids play with.
Yeah. It took me a long time, okay?
It looks like it took a long time, and
it did take a long time.
One time he was like, he saw it in here, and he was like, I can't believe you still have that.
I just assumed he threw it away, but I found it.
What is going on, everybody? Today we got lots of things to talk about, and we actually have 3 people who know about TCGs instead of 2 and George. It's going to be great. For those of you who don't know who Donald is, Donald's been on the channel a couple times. Donald is at my store. He's local to West Virginia, and he is an amazing friend of mine. He's also an incredibly good card player. Tons of Magicthegathering experience. Also played a lot of Cryptic. We could get into Cryptic if we want to.
Let's do it.
Currently a large Lorcana force to be reckoned with. And again, just a really great friend. So today we're going to talk about... Oh, go ahead.
No, I want to give everyone a peek behind the curtain. Because Donald, you are the resident Lorcana expert.
Yeah.
You are the Lorcana guy. We steal our Lorcana topics from you consistently.
The reason this is such a popular Lorcana podcast is because of Donald's contributions.
And this week, Donald's on the podcast. We say, what do you want to talk about with Lorcana? And Donald says...
There's nothing going on.
So, Donald, I have one question for you. What would you say you do here?
I know things. I don't know.
I drink and I know things.
I drink, and I know things.
What Cheers, are you drinking? Buddy. What is that?
In honor of George, I'm having spicy margs.
That's amazing. All right, everybody. We're going to talk about Foundations. We're going to talk about the Marvel disaster of a Secret Lair release. We're going to get into all the sorcery dust promos that they spoiled, as well as the dragon set. We're going to go into Lorcana. Donald's got a great Lorcana topic for us. And then we're going to
Google. Hold on.
Wrap it up with Josh and I's favorite topic, Surging Sparks and Pokemon, to get into the Pokemon world. And then I have a special secret sauce this week that I'm very excited about, that I've been planning all week. I've been thinking about it. I'm pretty excited about it. So let's get into it. Foundations doing, in my opinion, a lot better than maybe we thought it was going to do. This set seems to be pretty successful.
And I don't know if there's an opinion that would have Foundations doing poorly right now. This thing is popping off.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
When before they started spoiling cards for this, and everybody was just like, yeah, I don't care. They're just putting a core set in that's going to be in rotation for 5 years. It's going to have Llanowar elves and cancel and, all that stupid stuff in it. That was a whole different scenario than when they started spoiling cards for this set. Like, this set is almost like a Masters set. Like, it's got so much. It's like Masters Light. It's got so much good stuff in it.
You had me in the first half, Donald. Not gonna lie, you had me in the first half.
Listen, you're jumping out of the gate with some hyperbole, and I'm here for it. You get the thing in the podcast, I'm in.
It's going to draft like a master's set, and that's what I'm trying to like. It's like mystery booster curated, like down to a normal size set. It's just a little bit of everything that is good in Magic.
I am rather excited for the limited environment. I think we should qualify what pumping is before we move on. Collector boxes are the product that I think we are mostly talking about. Play boosters are doing fine. They're at 135. But collector boxes are the things that are really popping off. And Jumpstart is also doing really well. Jumpstart is secretly the Commander product in the set.
It's not so secret.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's really interesting.
I think collector boxes. I'm gonna lean into Donald. This is Donald's little hail Donald moment here. I'm gonna lean into the light theme, and collector boxes are popping off, and play boosters are popping off light. Because don't you do this. Nobody thought play boosters would be stable at $130 right now. So a product is going to be in print for 5 years. Nobody thought that.
I think by the time this podcast launches on Friday, these are going to be more expensive too. When people realize that in the collector boxes, you're not getting hardly any of that common bunny thing. Did you see that common bunny that creates? It's one of the cards you can have as many as you want in your deck. And every time it enters the battlefield, it creates a 1/1 bunny token for each one that you have on the battlefield. So if you have 5 of them on the battlefield, you play your 6, you get 6 1/1 bunny tokens, as well as another 2/2 bunny for the 2 cost. And you're only getting 1 per collector box. And the play boxes, you're going to get 4 to 5, I would guess, 4 to 5 of them in a box. Like, that's a lot of value at $4 or $5 a card.
Yeah, and Donald mentioned cancel. They have strictly better cancel that loots, right? It's a really good product, and we deserve a bit of a pass here because we were calling it a reprint core set for the longest time. I don't know if they announced there was going to be new cards in this until very late in the game.
I am on our side for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, core sets have not been strictly reprint sets. Core sets have always had new cards in them.
No, not always. No,
not always. But this is 50% recently for sure, Donald.
Recently, but like 7th edition,
7th edition,
8th edition.
Not all.
Those don't count as core sets. I'm talking about core set.
They definitely
2015 or what? No, the ones that literally say core set with a number.
Ladies out there, if he doesn't know that 7th edition is a core set, he's too young for you.
Donald,
I'm 40 years old. I'm older than both of you.
Donald is definitely not too young for you, ladies. Yeah, I don't know. This I'm very happy this set's doing well. I was a little bit worried. You had Bloomburrow, you had Duskmorn. This seems to have a lot of people interested in standard too.
Yeah,
you made a joke when we first hop on this call, Josh, that everyone in the comment section all of a sudden cares about standard and who will actually show up. I don't know what will actually happen, but we did have, like, we typically have been struggling to get 4 or 5 in standard. We had 6 this week at standard, so like there's a growth there.
Well, and everything coming out being standard is going to help. But like, okay, so Donald, again, TCG player, aficionado in many games. Do you actually? Because I want standard. I know my opinion. Do you, as a Magic player, want standard to exist, or do you not even care?
Standard was always my favorite constructed format. Always has been. And rotation never mattered to me, even when it was a short rotation. That was a non-factor. Standard was just always, when standard is good, standard is the best constructed format.
I mean, for new stuff.
Shout out to Nick, who's right now typing in the comment section. Donald, you should come play standard right now.
Not going to happen. But I mean, I've played the same Pauper deck for the last 15 years, and every 6 months I change out one card maybe because something new came along or something got banned.
Sure.
Like standard is just such a great way to play all kinds of different decks, and even modern is getting more of a shakeup these days than it ever has. but even that, it's a pretty stale format for for months. It goes on and on and on. It's the same format.
Right, and so you got consistency there, which is nice. But standard avenue to play like the new stuff, and people like new stuff. And the release schedule this year is going to have a lot going for it. That's going to, in my opinion, help Foundations. Because of all of that stuff, or let's call it most of it, save some surprise sets or whatever, is flowing through that pipeline. And it's easier for people to say, hey, I have another place to play the new stuff I keep buying, not can I play this here? Can I play this here? Can I play this here? I think that's going to help Foundations in the long run, because right now you don't necessarily need a LAN or else. Right now you don't need 3 of them. You don't need, upgraded, cancel anything. But like you find yourself in that ecosystem in a couple months, hey, crack a box. There's a lot of cool stuff in here I can actually make use of. So I think there's something to Foundations play boxes having some legs, even though they're going to be here for 5 years.
Yeah, and I mean we've seen play boxes now become a successful product. Murders was rough, but the rest of the play boxes have done really, really well. And on top of that, like we've also seen distro run out of play boxes. This happened for Bloomborough. We had like a month-long window where you basically couldn't restock play boxes in a big way, and there was a ton of people who wanted play boxes. And so I'm not saying that that's going to happen with Foundations, but I do know that a lot of stores ordered less of this product than most other sets, and I think I've heard that distro basically ordered light too. So it's going to be a very interesting thing. I also want to talk about the other products, because the other Josh, have you actually held the other products in your hand?
I have not yet. No.
Yeah. So like, it's crazy how strong these products feel when you're holding them. Like the box for the starter deck and the starter collection and the beginner box, they are heavy. Like if I was a consumer, this is like a random thought, right? But like sure. If I'm a consumer, and the Foundations, particularly the Learn to Play beginner box, it's not like a throwaway box. It's like a thick cardboard storage box that's really cool.
Is it like
is that the deck builder's toolkit
box from?
So Donald, that's what I thought it was, and we talked about this on the podcast. That's actually probably where you're thinking about it from. It's better than that, Josh. It's like a top folding. It's like a top.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the Bloomborough bundle box was a really good quality for what it was.
So that's the starter collection might be close to that. I think it's still different. But I'm talking about the beginner box that has.
Is that the jumpstart one?
Got 10 jumpstart things.
I got a theory.
Like a gameplay thing. Spin down. It's got the spin down life counters. It's like a good product, and like it's cheap too. There's going to be a lot of people who get into this stuff because they go to Walmart, whatever, they hold it, they fall in love with it. It's pretty good.
You know who else it attracts? And this is, speaking directly to the two of you after our time at Gen Con. The reason that's such a high quality is because that is a board game night. Open your jumpstart packs, build and play, and then at the end of the night, separate the packs into their own little decks again. And then at the start of the next game night, you roll a dice, you get whatever 2 it lands on, you shuffle them together, you make a deck, right?
Yeah.
That is the game night, have people over product. So that being in a high quality box totally makes sense. I mean, all board games now are pretty much coming in nice, thick packaging with heavy products and good storage. Like, I think it speaks to that audience in a good way.
Yeah. What'd you pay for your Terraforming Mars box? Just the box.
Don't say it out loud.
Like $50.
Yeah, for just a box.
God, I love Terraforming Mars. It is such a good game. You still haven't played that, have you?
No.
We need to.
We didn't get the chance. We were too hungover.
Yes.
2 of you were. One of us took care of us.
Excuse me. Oh my gosh! I just
hold on. You can't go any further. Is that how you sneeze?
No, I was trying to say excuse me because I was about to sneeze.
Donald.
When the sneeze came out as I was saying excuse me.
When you walk into his house and go into his fridge and help yourself, and you hear him in the other room, is that how he sneezes?
No, it's not.
I don't know that to be honest, I don't know if I've ever heard him sneeze.
What was that noise?
I don't know what that was.
But out of your face hole.
Yeah, that was me trying to say sorry while I was sneezing. I am really excited to see the limited. We're doing a midnight so when this podcast comes out on Friday morning at 9 a.m., I will have already finished a complete pre-release because we're doing a Thursday night at midnight pre-release. I'm super stoked.
Louis forgets that other people have jobs.
We have
you're the hero people need.
We have like
midnight
pre-releases.
pre-releases.
People signed up for it.
Yeah, it used to be midnight pre-releases on like Friday night though, not.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was Thursday night, man.
Thursday night. What kind of lame ass midnight pre-releases were they running in West Virginia before I got here? That's lame.
Because Friday was.
There's no way that I used to go to midnight pre-releases all the time, and I had a job, so I couldn't skip the next day, and it was always Friday night.
I think Magic.
Like sets didn't become legal until Friday night at midnight.
No,
I think you might.
Yes.
I think you might become. I think you might be right, Donald.
I am right. I know I'm right. I'm talking about back before you were born, when we used to play Magic. That like I remember like Ixalan pre-release as early as Ixalan, original Ixalan was Friday night at midnight because it used to be that you couldn't. That was the first time you could do it. Was Friday night at midnight.
So tell people the cool strategy though.
I don't think that's true.
You go to the midnight pre-release, then you come back the next day for the 11
Saturday
pre-release, and
then
the 3 or 4 p.m. pre-release, and then the one that night.
Right.
So you hit 4 pre-release in like 2 days. You do nothing but play the new.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. A midnight pre-release, and we played Saturday at noon, and then there was one Saturday night.
A midnight
on Friday night. That was the first time that you could do it. Yes.
It might have been Fridays.
Yes.
I don't have any way of knowing if that's true or not. Comment section, let us know who's
100% true.
It might be true for like West Virginia. That might be true.
No,
I don't remember ever going to a pre-release before Ixalan. I would have gone to the Ixalan pre-release, but I wasn't in Magic before then.
I still have like 27 copies of the stamped Valakut the Molten Pinnacle from the pre-release in like whatever year that was. That was wild times. Now how did I become the old man?
Yeah. I wish I was around back then. I was too busy having a girlfriend in high school.
Don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
Oh, boom roasted, Josh. Boom roasted. I'm spicy today.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah. Spent a lot of time on Twitter this week.
I also noticed. Which is weird because as you mentioned, we didn't talk and I knew.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so Foundation's looking good. I'm excited. If you want product before you go to TCG Player, check out KitchenTableTCG.com, everybody. See if I have any left. It's been selling though. I've been selling a couple boxes every day.
Yeah, I offered a case to supporters, and I don't know how much longer, if at all, I'll have any left. And I don't have nearly the community you have, but people are just excited.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's move on to the big disaster in Magic the Gathering this week. All right. I don't even know where to start on this one.
I need you to define for me what the disaster was.
I think the website was a pretty big failure. I think I think it's a pretty fair statement to say that Magic the Gathering should have this figured out so that there's not the disaster that happened.
Never will happen.
You got to define disaster without using disaster next time, but that's okay. I guess what I want to ask, because I agree. The website.
Listen, I got boxes. I'm happy.
I know. The website cannot fail like that, and I get that. But when you have a highly in-demand product for almost any industry, any release of any industry, this happens. This is the way that release goes.
Yeah, it's not just Magic.
Right. Instead of, and I'm here for it. I understand it was bad, but I've reached the point in my life where I need solutions. You have to offer me a better solution than what they do.
So I want to be very clear. The internet is saying things like this is why they should have printed demand secret layers. I'm not on that team.
Yeah, good take. Good take.
I am short printed secret layer fan. If I didn't get this, I would have still been short printed secret layer fan. I think secret layers should be something that sells out and is something that you get if you really, really want it, and it's collectible. and it's not a 3-cent card because they printed 1 billion of them. Like, I think that's a win. I do think some of the ways they did this is wrong. For instance, receive an exclusive foil arcane signet for every $200 spent. I think could be changed to receive a exclusive arcane signet after you spend $200 or more. Like, I got 10 foil arcane signets. I didn't even know that I was getting 10. And like, I think that it would have been fine to just give one to anybody who ordered more than $200. You don't need to have that be such a incentive to, buy all 5. What I was going to buy 5 because frankly, I wanted to get some for the store and get some for people and like have some. Like,
Right.
I'm not even that big of a Marvel fan. So I don't know. I just feel like that's one way they could have done it differently. I think that the back end stuff that they have on their website is pretty janky. The people, you and all your friends who scam the system by adding something to their cart first and then going back into it, like that stuff shouldn't exist. The ability to circumnavigate the line shouldn't exist. But like, I don't blame anybody for doing it. Like, if I knew a way to do it, I would have done it too.
I'm sorry that members of my Discord played within the rules that were set by the system they were working in.
Yeah.
All right. What do you want me to say?
No,
we play by the rules. We can only play in the sandbox you build.
I think that's the type of stuff though that like a company like Magic should have fixed. Like,
yeah, but I mean, like you said, it's not just a Magic thing. It's any release of anything. I mean, like Ticketmaster. It's the same thing. Like when tickets go on sale, and
can you imagine if they throttled Secret Layers like they do Ticketmaster sales? So when the demand is increased, the price goes up.
The price goes up. That's first of all, that's stupid. But
I
mean,
yeah. Are we doing bread and eggs and milk though instead? That's way more important.
I kind of love that. Like, have Secret Layers.
Yeah, because you have unlimited funds.
No,
yeah,
have Secret Layers start at like $5 a card. And if the Secret Layer's in demand, it goes.
So this has been Louis' new persona on the podcast. I don't know if you've caught it, but he hates anyone without means.
Oh, I know. Like as the only person on this podcast that is in the middle class, I
don't know how to handle either of them.
That is an egregious error.
I'm pretty sure I know the reality of the situation about the middle class of this podcast.
Yeah.
I think you got it 100% wrong.
Yeah. Easy there, 6-pack. Calm down, new guy.
Yeah. Anyway, you remember back to the Ravnica, what was that thing called? The special edition, like had the special planeswalkers in it, and how big of a disaster that was.
War of the Spark Mythic Edition?
Yeah, the Ravnica was first, wasn't it? Wasn't there, or was it second?
No, I think War of the Spark Edition was
anyway, whatever one was such a disaster, and they had to give everybody the uncut sheets because
this is completely worthless now. By the way, completely worthless now.
It's worth like $70.
70?
I don't know. It could be 270.
When these came out on eBay, yeah, I'm gonna get hate in the comment section for saying this. That's fine. It helps the engagement. When these came out on eBay, I got 4 of them, and I got the uncut sheet.
Why would people dislike you for that?
I don't know. This was
because he's a whale.
This was a hot button. I'm usually pretty good at getting stuff that are limited.
But here's the thing. Here's my point. You're saying that Wizards should be able to, not have those issues. We're talking about eBay. eBay should be able to not have those issues.
Oh, that's a bad take.
How? eBay is by far a bigger company than Magic.
It wasn't eBay's fault that Wizards put too many products up.
Yeah, that's.
If I go and put 18 first edition Charizards on eBay, it's not eBay's fault if they all sell.
I mean, it is for having such a platform to sell things.
Yeah, like that was Wizards.
It's again. It's just gonna be sought after. It's gonna be coveted, and I'm in the camp with you. Secret Lair shouldn't be something that's just like anyone who wants it can get as much as you want at any given time. It should feel like something special. It should feel unique. The caveat being functionally unique cards. And that's where this one is in a weird spot, right? Because it does impact the gameplay of Magic. It does.
Yeah, but there was nothing functionally unique in this, was there?
Yeah, all the commanders.
I mean, but it'll be put into just like they did with The Walking Dead.
We think.
I mean,
they explicitly
said that.
Yeah, this is a little.
They explicitly stated that with The Walking Dead that there will be reprints of these cards in sets and Magic names. They did not say that with this.
Well, they didn't do it at the release of Walking Dead. They did it well after when everybody lost their shit. But then they said moving forward, we'll never do that again. Granted, it's Wizards and
right.
They can change their mind.
I'm pretty sure they already walked that back.
Walked what back?
The not doing that again. Wasn't that a big conversation this week?
So
am I imagining that? Didn't we?
I think about that? You might be, but you could just be more tuned in than I am. You've been on Twitter a lot, so.
I just looked up the prices because I was going to make the argument that if you didn't get this, you can just go buy singles. They'll probably be cheaper than the secret layer. That is not a take that anybody should have.
Not yet.
Storm is $70.
Yeah, but she's probably the best one of the.
Yeah,
it's Storm is just broken. Storm the mechanic is broken. So.
Storm the mechanic is not broken.
Yes, it is.
Don't be a hater.
It's broken.
I should be selling all my Storms.
Well, everything is going to come down probably slightly as things come to market, right? There won't be a crash,
for sure.
The question is, do we see reprints of this in a main Marvel set? The community consensus is yes. Everyone's kind of like, nobody's saying it out loud, but that seems to be the idea. The scary part is it's unlike The Walking Dead where they didn't say anything. And so here's the question. If we don't see a reprint of these functionally unique cards, if that just never comes, is this secret layer then a problem? With very high limits, you could order a ton, it's not available, and it does impact gameplay.
Yeah, if you can only get the cards and they were limited, if that was the only way you could get them, they were limited to X amount of sales, and they never reprint them, then yes, that is a major problem.
Hold on. I disagree with that. I think it's a problem if they release cards that are functionally unique and they say they are reserved list cards and they will never reprint them again. I think that is a problem, but I don't really get the difference between. I think Wizards is smart enough to know their print runs and what they have. So if you do a new, let's say one of the mythics from Foundations, and they're like, the initial supply of this card is 100,000 cards, and they know exactly how many of that mythic that they printed, and then they come up with a functionally unique secret layer card, and they print 100,000 of them. I don't think that's a problem. Like the problem comes if the card goes to $300, then we have a problem.
Yeah, but did they print 100,000 of this secret layer?
No,
I think
my point is we don't know what these. For a lot of people were complaining about the Walking Dead cards when the cards were $30 and $40.
But Louis, the difference is there is not so much about how much the card costs; it's the delivery method. Where you mentioned, let's say you have a commander in Foundations, right? That's $100 and they print 100,000 of it because it's in their play booster box.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a player, you have 5 years to crack a pack and trade for one or go to your game store and get that hit. It has been the delivery method of Magic the Gathering cards to us since the inception of the game.
So we're saying lottery tickets are better than just buying the single?
Hold on, boo-boo. That's how you're in the world of TCGs, buddy. Welcome to the world.
I'm saying it's not, in my opinion, it's not a better way of getting the card to have to buy. I know when shout out to Screenwatcher 33, but he needed a uncommon from Ixalan.
You don't have to buy that product. Somebody else over the course of 5 years, anyone involved in the Magic the Gathering community, any Magic player over the course of 5 years can crack a pack and get a card that you can trade for. It's now out in the ecosystem. It's there. These were only released in the ecosystem to a select few that got in that line, got through the queue, and had the capital at the given moment. It's the delivery system that's the problem.
So like maybe
And also, like,
I don't think it's a problem if the initial supply is enough cards. Let's use that storm card, right? Let's say the initial supply is enough cards for the market. I don't think it matters how they get into the market. They're going to find their way onto the open market. Like, I don't think it matters that you can't pull it in your 30th $6 booster pack.
But the difference is there's no safety net there. Right, you mentioned
the safety net is that if they want to, they can reprint the card anytime they want. Like, that's the safety net. Like,
that's my point. Then it's not a functionally unique card in a single release, right? It's now in a public product. It's now on a store shelf. It's now in your game store.
I'm saying that if Storm becomes a card that is still, I don't know what the threshold is. I'm sure they have a threshold in their mind. But if Storm becomes a card that sees play in some vintage deck and vintage, whatever it is, legacy, whatever one you can play all the cards in. If Storm becomes an issue in those formats or becomes a commander that is a $200 commander, then they can just come out and say, hey, we're going to throw that card in the Marvel set. We're going to throw that card as a buy a box promo for the Marvel set. There's a million other ways that they can distribute another version of that card. I only see it as an issue if they come out and say, hey, we're going to print functionally unique cards. We're never printing this card again, which they haven't done and they haven't said.
But until they do that, that's the understanding that it'll never be reprinted, that now those copies are the only ones that exist. If they haven't said, I mean, sure, but that's all speculation. That was the problem with The Walking Dead, was once people realized I didn't get that because I wasn't able to get the secret layer. Now I'm just hoping that I can pick one up on the secondary market, or I'm just out of luck. I'll never have that card. Then that's where it becomes the problem is when the card is actually good. If it wasn't a good card, then whatever. But if the cards are actually good and playable, then a lot of people need them, and the supply might not meet the demand.
And Lou, you talk about this all the time, and the Walking Dead example to me is different because I thought The Walking Dead was announced right away when they said these are functionally unique cards, but they will be Magic cards in the future.
It was like a year. It was a long time before.
But either way, Louis, when you go to your store and you play Commander Night and you pay $10 to play Commander Night and everyone gets a pack, right? And everyone gets a pack. Or you play your standard event that happens to fire because Magic the Gathering fixed standard and we're all living in Dream World, right? When you open you have a chance to get that card. You have an opportunity. You have that excitement, that rush, that fun, that chase is there. And that attraction that when you pull the things that you want and put it in your deck, just like we talk about Pokemon, it's not as strong in Magic, but when you pull something, you're excited about it, you're happy about it, you feel that ownership. That option's not here. It's not there. And if they choose to never reprint this card, it never lives in that ecosystem. It is only delivered by going to a website and buying that card specifically, not a treatment of that card. Okay, that functional card.
But let's use a card that's in a booster pack. Okay, let's throw Shieldred out. Shieldred from Dominaria United. Okay, by that logic, your frame of time is your issue is just with the frame of time that it was available. Because let's say you're a consumer and you miss out on Dominaria United. For some reason, Dominaria United all of a sudden starts selling and everybody wants it rather than.
How long did it take you to miss out on Dominaria United?
I guess that's your issue, is the amount of time that you didn't have to get it. That's your issue.
No, it's also accessibility. You just said the system was broken. It was the disaster.
Yeah, but
that means that people even that wanted it couldn't even get in there.
But it's not an NFT that's no longer available anywhere. Like, you can go to TCG Player and you can buy the single. And my point is, if they printed 100,000 of this secret layer, that's a random number. Right. That's not even speculation. If they printed 100,000 of this secret layer, and that is the same number of individual mythics that they typically print for something, I don't see the issue, because the market will be the market and it will dictate what the price of the card is.
Again, it's all your number is not incorrect. You're not wrong in saying there's 100,000 of one and 100,000 of both, and both have demand. That's not an incorrect statement. What you're incorrect on is the only people that get that thrill, that excitement, that pull, that rush are the people that were in the line, did the right thing, and were in the know at the right moment. No, there's no widespread enjoyment. There's no widespread distribution of this product. And there's no, hey, we happened to open this up. I got this. I got lucky. I got this. I got that. There's none of that in the ecosystem. If that's the case, right, then everyone would be the professor and no one would ever buy a single pack ever. And we'd only ever buy singles.
I guess I just fundamentally disagree that a randomized booster pack is a more ethical way of doing a Magic the Gathering card. I just think that they're both a way to do a Magic the Gathering card, and it doesn't.
I never
matter.
claimed that one was more ethical than the other. So
that's the implication, right?
Holy shit.
The implication.
It's the experience of opening a booster pack versus paying $200 for the exact 5 cards that you know you're going to get. It's a whole different experience.
I agree. And I like the booster pack experience.
And it's an experience, and also it's distributed through an area where we have grown accustomed to have these products to us. Again,
what if you don't have a game store, though?
Right,
like there's people who don't have game stores.
You're right. You're absolutely correct. The overwhelming majority do.
Yeah. I think that we are going to see these cards again. I hope they have at least different artwork.
Then it's not an issue. That's what the crux of this whole conversation
I think the other thing that people started talking about this week, I'm remembering that conversation, I think they came out with something that said essentially there will not be non-Universes Beyond versions of cards. So where you have the Storm Force of Nature, before what they said was, okay, you don't like playing with the Walking Dead. It's okay. Yeah. We're going to have universes within versions of these cards so that you can have the Magic the Gathering flavor. I think that Mark Rosewater came out and basically said, we are no longer planning on that. Your Marvel cards are Marvel cards now. You will not have universes within versions.
Right. Well, it doesn't matter anymore. I mean, they're all legal in every format now, so it doesn't matter.
And that makes sense, too, because we know when The Walking Dead was announced, there was no like massive Universes Beyond product, right? So to get the Walking Dead characters again, and if Mark Rosewater made that announcement, what is this? It's like 3 years ago now, right? Something like that.
It's been more than that.
He would have had to essentially out the fact that one day there will be a full-fledged Walking Dead product, and that was never going to be the case. So we live in a different world.
My initial gut reaction to the Secret Lair was, this is why Secret Lairs should just be through game stores. I know that that's a bad take and a biased take, but like,
it's a great take.
They did what the land cycle one was the only one that they've ever done.
They do one a year, and it's always a really shitty one. This year was like the Calling All Hydra one.
Were these ones? I have like random what the more borderless planeswalkers I think were through game stores and stuff like that.
The fetch land one was the only one that I remember.
So I think that things like this, there's caveats to it. Like, I agree. I think something like this, the perfect balance would have been have the Secret Lair be open. It sells out. In addition, every LGS in the country gets an allocation of 1 for every 10 whatever players they have, activated players, or there's a fancy word they use, committed players, or whatever. It's the players that I think they essentially play
that show up
2 or more
that
events
are playing in your events. Yeah.
Sure.
You get allocated, just like your promos, you get allocated 1 per every 10, and you have to deal with how to handle that as an LGS and what to do as an LGS, and your successful stores who care about the community will sell it at the same price that the Secret Lair was, and it will give more people an opportunity, a second chance, like you're saying, Josh, an opportunity to get something. I think that is a really good medium to like them still having Secret Lair on the website and selling out. It's kind of like what they did with Magic 30, right?
Yeah.
But instead of it being terrible,
instead of it being $1,000 proxies or whatever. No,
I mean that's what they did with Mystery Booster 1. I mean, COVID probably had something to do with that, but because then they couldn't have conventions anymore. So they're like, well, we got to do something now. I don't know that was their original plan ever.
It fell into a good plan though.
But it did, it worked, and that's what they should do. They should always throw a bone to the local game store. Always. And everything.
I want to be clear. I'm not even saying that it's because they should throw a bone to the local game store. I'm saying because it helps a lot with the distribution of the product. If you rely on your local game store to, and there will be stores who scam it. Comment section is going to be like, my store would never, whatever.
That's 100% going to happen.
But what do
you think the people buying the secret layers are doing? They're not buying it because they want it.
That's what Louis did with Secret Layer.
Exactly.
Right. But I'm saying if you are giving it to a local game store, the expectation I think of a local game store would be to sell it at a MSRP product,
100%.
Rather than selling it at a higher version. I'm all in on capitalism and the idea that if you bought the secret layer, you should be able to sell it for whatever you want. I didn't sign any contract. I took a gamble when I bought 5 bundles of this. Like I put up $2,200 to gamble away. It could have been for sale for the next 6 weeks and it could be worthless tomorrow. Like there's a risk level attached to everything. But
they could ban all of the best cards out of it tomorrow.
Yeah. But don't get me I am a firm believer still that we will see in the next 5. I think I said this a year ago, so it will go from 5 to 4 years. I'm a firm believer that in the next 4 years, we will see a complete Magic the Gathering set be Secret Layer exclusive.
I think you said within the next year.
I'm moving that to 5 years.
I think you were pretty hyperbolic with it.
But I still think that is. I mean, we kind of saw it with Mystery Booster 2, to be honest. That is.
If they don't take that anywhere else other than the secret, then yes, that's 100%.
I'm just right.
That is not true. You can go to a convention and get it.
You can't. We went to conventions and they didn't have it.
That's because it wasn't out yet. It didn't exist.
I'm just saying,
people in MagicCon Vegas literally just got it.
I think that we're going to continue to see stuff like that. And that is definitely a test of that product, by the way. That's definitely what they're doing. The difference with that is that's a reprint set, not a full new set.
Yep.
But stuff like this, I think is a test for them to say, what can we get away with? Can we do a full-fledged new Magic the Gathering set that is a Secret Layer exclusive thing and come out and it be there? I think they're going to do it. And I hope that when they do something like that, they do work with local game stores, because I think people are going to want to draft it. People are going to want to play, limited. You can still have release events.
People only play Commander, Louis. Get with it.
Limited is
and standard.
Standard. They already did that. They did that with Streets of New Capenna. That came direct to consumer through Amazon. I'm a firm believer that nobody bought Streets of New Capenna for more than $100 on Amazon. I don't think that ever happened.
I bought it from my local game store.
Yeah.
Oh, you are a sucker.
That set actually did pretty good off the bat. That was a decent set. They just they fell asleep on the print button and then they dumped it on Amazon.
Can we get an F in chat for our boy Donald? Thank you for the support.
Donald just sold me his entire Magic collection last week. Donald,
can we get an F in chat for both our boys?
Get an F in chat from my bank account.
That's a good Magic collection too.
Except he won't tell me how much it was worth.
That is not true.
He just said, "Here, you just have to trust me." Here's a number.
My favorite part of the entire Secret Layer, by the way, is that the front picture for the bundle has a Soul Ring that has a massive, massive print line and scratch on it, and I love that. I think that is so in line with Secret Layer and the print quality that we have seen from Magic the Gathering. Look at that. I don't know if you guys, if you're watching on this, look at that print line in the middle of that Soul Ring.
As someone who's literally
does it come pre-curled as well?
Probably. Magic foils are awful.
I hate that. Welcome to TCGs, fellas. Foils curl.
Lorcana doesn't.
Sorcery doesn't.
That's because Lorcana foils aren't foil.
It's cold foil, not foil.
It's a light smattering of foil. Now, listen, this podcast, by the way,
Louis left.
This just got good. This just got good. May the zoo be with you. Oh,
and you were recording the whole time.
I know. Hopefully,
I totally hit I don't know, control quit and close my entire internet browser in the middle of that.
As someone who's about to send more than 20 Brothers War serialized cards off for grading, and I have finally started looking at them, I'm not a firm believer in WotC print quality right now. Those cards
they're terrible.
Are trash quality.
Well,
holy moly.
Well, and they don't care about foiling either. I wish Magic would get serious about
hold on.
No, I know the good looking cards are, but regular foils, they just throw that foiling over it. I wish they would get
foils aren't special anymore. The special foil is
basically non-foils.
Yeah, the special foil is special.
I would go out of my way to get the non-foil version of cards for my decks because that you don't want curled cards, especially if you're playing a competitive tournament. You don't want a card that is clearly got a
double sleeve your cards like a pro.
No,
I double sleeve everything. Doesn't matter.
Donald, you're not everything. Never mind. All right.
I don't get it.
I do. That was gross.
Yeah, that's too far.
Might as well use 3.
Can you text me later and explain it?
All right, everyone. Let's move on to sorcery. Is that next? That was next. Marvel. I'm way behind. All right, sorcery. So we had the big sorcery con Las Vegas this past week.
Do I leave too?
No, he always leaves. They always leave in the middle of this. It's like
I'm here for you, buddy.
I need to hire real people to do this podcast.
I'm getting paid for this.
You can't afford us. We're apparently not middle class.
At SorceryCon Vegas, they announced a lot of stuff. I think the event went really well. I heard from a lot of people they had a lot of fun, and there's a good turnout, and people just, again, one of those events that we keep seeing with sorcery where the community comes up with something awesome, and I think it's a lot of the same people who come to the events, which is really cool. It's like a great community.
Yeah.
But they did bless them with quite a bit of really good spoilers of new things, including the dragon set. But first, I want to talk about the dust rewards. This is something that a lot of people have been excited about. You guys are both familiar with dust, right? You guys remember?
I am.
Okay. So the audience who's not, when you open booster boxes or when you play in events, on the bottom of your booster box is a code, and you type that code into their website and you get dust reward points. And then you can go to their website and you can redeem those points for promo cards and cool things. So one of the things that I speculated was going to be was the Druid foil set, which is one of them. And the Druid is super cool. It's an avatar, and when you tap it, you get to summon a token, and you also get to flip it. And so there's going to be a foil Druid token card, as well as then the Bruin and the Tawny Owl, which is really cool.
Did you just claim to have called that, even though this is the first I've ever heard of it?
I have said that since the first time I saw the Druid token wasn't in the set. I claimed that months ago. You didn't mention the full set. I don't think that I deserve much of a medal because it's a pretty easy call.
Here's the question: is it actual sized or is it?
No, it's an avatar sized.
So it's not the little token size?
No, but we do have little mini tokens for sure as part of this. They're just not those ones. Maybe not. Yeah, there's a foot soldier. I don't know if those are full size or not, but they did have those already. They had full size.
Right. I knew for the first set they had full size dust reward tokens.
Yeah. So new dust promos, pretty cool. I think the big chase ones will obviously, or the big expensive ones will probably be the Druid, and then there's Camelot, which is a unique site, and Briar Patch, which Donald told me today was a great card. So, speculate all you guys want. Chat.
Are you bearing the lead here? Because I'm looking further down and I see a card that I think is going to be worth way more.
Which one are you talking about?
You are showing me wizards as cats, or cats as wizards.
So the wizards as cats is not dust rewards. These are actually the store kit rewards.
Okay, we don't have to get into it yet. We can finish dust rewards, but if that was a dust reward, you're wrong because that's the most expensive.
Yeah,
but
no, I mean we can just talk about all the rewards, and we can just.
I think they do dust rewards correctly. I was really concerned before they ever announced what it was going to be available, that they would do, pull a magic and make a functionally unique card that you could only get through Dust Rewards.
It's not a problem, Donald.
I forgot that we just determined that wasn't a problem. But
Great. In fact,
if it was a problem and they did that, then that'd be really bad.
Are you listening? But Louis is advocating.
I never said whatever.
Having it as a way to get cooler versions of cards that exist, or full-size tokens, or a playmat or something like that, it's a win for buying a box. It's like saving up your Marlboro points and going and getting that beach towel.
I thought the same thing. I had the same. We're both so old. I had the same. We both grew up in not great areas because I had the same thought as you did.
Yeah,
you saved up your the cigarettes and you got
So whenever there was you saved off the packs of cigarettes, you saved the points, and you could spend them at a store to get towels. And I remember the beach towel because we had the beach towel and
kids' toys.
And, yeah. And shirts. There were shirts. I remember shirts for sure. And
Marble cigarettes. Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty sure I still have that beach towel somewhere. That's
how good. If you have that beach towel, you should check eBay.
I'm 100% that my mom has that beach towel. I think every year we go to the beach, it makes an appearance.
I think I did see that.
Can I give legitimate advice to sorcery dust fan?
You went to the beach with us?
This is an easier mom joke.
Yeah, was it or
it was a layup. It was a layup. I saw it there. I should have left it, but
yeah,
you know how it is.
That's a good try. My mom watches this podcast. Okay,
that's great.
She will though this time because her favorite son
more for watching this podcast than I do for her late night trounces with Louis.
If she makes it 51 minutes into this podcast, she deserves to hear the mom joke I just made.
All right, I'll make sure she leaves a comment. I'll have to tell her how.
Does your mom have a YouTube account?
I don't think so.
One time my mom watched one of my videos. I think it's the only time she's ever watched. She's like, how do I leave a comment? And I was like, she's like, I don't have an account. I was like, that makes sense to me. Why would you have a YouTube account?
You should probably keep it that way.
Yeah.
So I want to do something we don't do on this podcast and give.
You're going to talk positively about sorcery?
No, I want to give financial advice. I talk positively about sorcery every week, you butthurt buffoon. Okay. I want to give actual advice to people who have dust for sorcery.
Okay. You can only buy one of each.
As I stare at my gigantic, obnoxious stack of playmats. If they offer playmats, don't get one.
They usually do. I'm sure they will.
Speaking of,
don't get the playmats, please.
Do you want to buy my playmats too?
No. Dude, I have so many playmats.
Do you want to cut mine up?
I could build a house out of playmats.
Do you want to cut my playmats up?
We didn't talk about the King Arthur promo for sure.
You don't have a Chicago Con top 8 popper playmat.
I don't. You've tried to sell it to me a million times. I think buying top 8 playmats is like such a stupid idea.
I think
because if you sat down, everybody would be like, that definitely, you didn't earn that.
I'd sit down with my popper top 8 playmat and my Llanowar Elves deck, and they'd be like, you didn't win this. I'd be like, you're right.
Fair. We can keep talking about promos. I just want to, it caught my eye every time we talk about things to redeem or things to buy in indie TCGs. Just don't let it be playmats. There isn't a playmat economy. I know that you think there is right now. No, you think you do, but you don't.
The problem with playmats is the more that they make, the less valuable the top ones get. Like the playmats are always in these indie games are always really expensive for the first release, and then second release comes by, everybody buys the playmats, and then they become worthless, and then you're like, well, whatever.
I have never bought a playmat thinking, oh man, this will sell really well.
Oh, you sweet summer child!
In the pandemic,
I
think you guys are the minority there. I really do.
Not for indie TCG fans.
The indie TCG playmat scene was maybe the only thing you could actually criticize me about for pumping. That might be the only thing you could actually for my fans who love to call me the pump and dumper.
Yeah, I don't think that's the only thing, but go on.
I'm supposed to do my George cosplay because there is no way in hell that's the only thing we can criticize you for pumping and dumping. I am going to pull up your second most watched video.
That is, I never dumped anything. That's the problem. The pumping.
You tried.
This begs to differ.
My cryptic is out of reach.
I lost more money on cryptic than anybody in the world. I promise you that. I lost more money on cryptic than Tanner did.
You're not right. He's not wrong. I know this is a fact.
I know because a lot of that money was lost to Tanner. Thank you for all the uncut sheets.
Because every day I was telling him, "Don't buy that. Don't buy that," and he still did.
You too.
I still have all my cryptic. I have the bags to prove that I didn't.
You don't have all your cryptic. I have some of your cryptic.
I did sell after it all tanked. I did sell a lot of the boxes, but the singles I still have all of them.
The best was when
in my garage is a 5,000 count box of Genesis Kickstarter foils. Yeah.
The best was when he dumped all the starter decks into the dumpster behind the store, and then I saw a post on Facebook Marketplace of someone trying to sell all these starter decks. So I left a comment and said, "Nice dumpster dive, but you understand they were in the dumpster for a reason, right?"
Louis, be honest with the audience right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Knowing that those starter decks were limited because you were the only supplier, did you FOMO and buy them back?
No, I did not. Okay. All right, the King Arthur promo, I'm going to make a wild speculation on. Okay. I have not watched any of the stream. I just got these photos from the spoiler section. But are you guys looking at that thing? Doesn't it look like the King Arthur promo? Doesn't it look like it's etched?
It looks like it has texture, but that could just be the fact that this is hand painted, like oil painted art.
God, I really hope that all those rings are etched up on the card.
Why is his face crooked though? Is that just what we look like when we're old?
I hope not.
Donald, as the resident expert.
I mean, you can see me, right?
Wow.
I don't think it's etched.
I hope it is.
I don't think it is,
but I hope it is. That would be sweet.
All right, let's get into the cats. The best promos saved for the LGSs. The appurtenance. How do you say that? How do you say that as intended?
Apprentice?
No, but it's got purr in it. You see the name? They changed the name.
Oh, apparentous. Apparentous.
These are functionally unique cards.
Yeah. So can you run?
Grand Meowster.
Can you run 3 of each?
No.
An ordinary mortal Mew to power, and then an elite mortal of arcane expertise. I love it. These
are cool. I like when games do stuff like this. This is a win.
This just makes me think of Super Troopers.
I wish it was dogs instead of cats. Cats kind of suck.
Well, I think we just found out what's going to come for the next promo set.
Are you going to buy the original painting of the Grand Meowster Wizard to hang beside your Grandmaster Wizard?
No, but I will be guilty of stealing one of the promos from my own supply and giving it to my daughter, who loves cats, and that cat looks exactly the apprentice wizard looks exactly like the cat that we had that died, and she'll be like Noddles, you're back from heaven. And I'll be like, yeah, and it's on this card.
Are we out here bringing up core hurtful memories? Okay,
Daddy, can I get a cat? No.
That, which, by the way, is correct. The correct answer.
Yeah, she goes, Mommy said that if I ask you nicely when I'm 11, I might be able to get a cat. I said,
when I'm 11,
I said, Mommy lied to you.
That's
she'll forget about that by the time she's 11.
But you're 2 for 2 on dad and husband wins tonight. Well done.
I hate cats, dude. And also the cat we had didn't pee or poop in a litter box. It would use it once, one time. And then after that, if you didn't clean it, literally, it would not use it. And
see, that's not a problem I've ever had.
Yeah. Well,
but it would also just go outside.
No, it was also not allowed to be an outdoor cat for a long time until I had lots and lots of conversations with my wife of this cat is ruining our house. And then finally she let me make it be an outdoor cat.
So can I tell you an argument?
Finally,
for
it
cats?
died. I hate cats, dude. I freaking hate cats so much.
I've lived in apartment buildings and stuff like that they have mice, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're just no matter what you do, you're in an apartment, you're gonna have mice. Cats, dope. I had a cat in an apartment building that had mice. Didn't have mice anymore. Once a month, maybe probably once a quarter. I'd wake up, I'd open my door. There's a mouse
gift.
and I'd go give the cat a little treat, and it would sit and purr and eat its little treat. I was like, "This is cool. I like cats."
I am a big fan of outdoor cats. Like cats are great animals. They are.
They kill
cats
stuff.
are
Dude.
okay animals. I don't know if I can actually believe that. I think I just lied to everybody. What my actual feelings are.
Hold on, we're not in the indie TCG section anymore. You don't have to.
We are. I like cats in some logical ways, like what you're saying, but cats should be outdoor. And the problem is, like, my wife's like, it's cold. I'm like, it has fur. It's literally made for the outdoors. And it's not that cold in West Virginia. It's like 40 degrees outside. It's not that cold.
I'm indoor cat only to catch mice, though. Like, you got to keep it. You can't feed it enough to where it gets fat. It's got to be a little bit hungry. Just a little bit, because then it hunts and it kills, and then I'm like, "You're the best cat ever."
You've just made an apex predator.
Yes,
I think
you literally created the predator, and it's amazing.
I think we're gonna get a PETA
sponsorship
strike on this video.
Sponsorship.
All right. The last thing with sorcery. Oh, they also then spoiled the dragon set, which is coming out in 2025, which is next year. They did not give a date, but there's a bunch of cards. It's going to be a 13 card mini set, and I don't think they really got into how they're going to do that. I still don't fully understand how they're going to do it, to be honest. But 13 card mini set.
It's what? Hold on.
It's not the major set for the year.
No,
it's not the only set for the year.
Which means that set will be pushed back till the following year.
Great, better not be, because that's insane. When we said mini set, because we have been discussing mini sets for the better part of a year and a half, maybe 2 years now.
He's been saying this since November of last year.
I've been saying it was going to be 15 cards. That's what I've said.
You also said it was coming out in Q1 or Q2 of this year that we're in currently.
Yeah, you did say
I
that.
have no way of knowing if that's accurate or not.
It is. I'll pull up the receipts.
You guaranteed that we would not have a full year between Beta and Arthurian Legends.
Sure.
However, that aside, don't care.
Not my fault. Not my job. I'm going to the warehouse.
Respect. This is too small. What? Why is it 13 cards?
That's what.
Is it what she said to you? I'm so sorry, man.
God, this podcast has gone so far downhill. It's just like low hanging fruit.
Or not that low, apparently.
So I don't think the set's too small. I don't know what they're gonna do with it.
It's 13 cards.
I don't see it as I don't know how they're gonna do it as a set and not a secret layer. That's my thing.
I don't care what stamp you want to put on it. It's 13 cards.
Right, but like 13 cards is better than 0 cards. That's the alternative. We know
that it's a little better. It's a baker's dozen better.
Listen, I think you guys are looking at this wrong. I love the idea that they are saying early on in their release cycle, they are saying, hey, we want to be able to do things like add in another 13 cards to the game randomly. I think that's cool. If they're going to have one release a year, this is something that excites the community. It's something that gets, changes the meta. You have a brand new avatar here that does some really cool, unique dragon stuff.
Except there are no dragons.
Yes, I'm guessing that the dragon mini set will have some dragons.
So this is 13 cards that only support that avatar?
That only support dragons, and if there's only 13, the avatar's 1, the dragon's egg is 2, so that means there's only, at max, 11 dragons.
Did you see the fire dragon? I'm guessing there's a dragon.
We have one dragon, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm guessing there's a dragon for every element. Have you already looked on Curiosa to see if there's other dragons?
There aren't.
Did you?
I know every sorcery card. There are not dragons.
You wanna? Are we I don't know if
I
that's
don't
true or
know.
not.
I don't know if it's true or not either. I don't even know.
When you do this, everyone has to believe you.
There is the Colicky Dragonettes, there's the Ancient Dragon, there's the East-West Dragon.
I knew about the East-West dragon.
There's a reason we don't know if there's dragons because none of them see play.
And there's the Wyvern. Now, importantly, Wyverns
are not dragons.
According to this card, they are.
Exceptional
beast. Oh, the text is an exceptional beast, often mistaken for a dragon.
There you go.
But
dragon
is in the subtype on the line, so I'm pretty sure it makes it an actual dragon.
Wait, if it says mistaken,
no, he's not wrong. Sorcery is so convoluted that's right. It's like just like the spire lits or whatever that you get to decide if you think the site's a tower or not because there's no classification of towers.
I'm pretty sure it would qualify as a dragon because it's in the type line. That would be my official judge call.
Since there are no rules.
Actual judge.
There are currently no unique dragons, so this set would be the only unique dragon.
So and this is my struggle with sorcery, and this is why it bugs me when you're always like, you're negative on sorcery. If I'm so negative on sorcery, why do I want more? Why do I want it to happen more frequently? Why do I want the players and the community and the collectors to get more if I'm so negative on it? I just don't think 13 cards satiates the need, the gap that has been created between sets. 13 cards is just not enough for me.
I mean,
it'll be just as good as Aftermath.
That was my first thought. But I think Aftermath has more impact because.
Can I present a possibility to you guys? What if this set is sold for $20 as a package from your LGS?
It's a DLC,
and $20 direct from the artist. The artist is Ed Beard Jr. and he's doing all the cards. So maybe his website is another place where you can buy this. And the 15 card or whatever it is, the pack is all 13 cards, and one of them is randomly foil. Okay,
which means you've got to buy at least 4.
So my point,
I have to go to the artist's website to buy it.
No, I hope it's through LGSs that are running the events too. Like I hope this is a product that is, but it's another way for them to generate income for an artist that has obviously spent a lot of time and work on it. Like I think like that is a net positive win. I don't think it has to be a booster pack where you open it and you have randomized cards. I think it can be a more looking like a direct to consumer-esque type of direct.
It's basically just a secret layer then.
Then it's not a set.
DLC. It's DLC for a video game.
But it's not a set.
I agree with that. They're not saying it's a set. They're calling it a mini set.
That has the word set in the type line, just like the wyvern is a dragon. A mini set is also a set.
The only thing more painful than this is the blind zealots in the comment section be like, God, these two just when they talk about sorcery, they just hate it so much. Like this man just said a mini set's not a set, and you just have a backer down there somewhere.
Yeah, it's different.
It's
than
wild. It's wild behavior.
I think that DLC would be really cool for them if they could pull this off 3 times a year. Okay, let's say that their release cadence doesn't change, and every year they have a major set, and then 3 times a year there's some form of DLC. It's kind of like a video game. It's kind of like a way to engage and bring you back to all of a sudden you want to buy the DLC, you get back into the game because now you can try out the Dragon Lord and you can explore the realm as Dragon Lord and you can build a deck and have some fun. And it doesn't need to be about it's everything, frankly, that people have criticized the game for being. It doesn't have to be about the tendies and about the pull rates and about the curios and about the high value foils and all this stuff. It can just be a fun way to play the game. And I think that's exciting.
I hate this. I hate this so much. What you just described, it doesn't have to be about the curios and the collectability and the sorcery does that so well. They do that so well. The curio concept, the foil concept, the art, the collectability. They do that so well. And now we're going to release it. It doesn't have to be about that. That's what they do best. They do that
They can
better than everyone else.
They do that better than everyone else because they're only doing it once a year, and they can't do it twice a year, and they can't do it 3 times a year.
I think they do that by mistake, though. I don't think that was their original intention.
That is BS.
What?
They cannot.
Donald.
Their original intention wasn't to be a Tindy farm. Their original intention was to make a fun, casual game that reminds you of old school Magic.
The collectability, the connection to the cards. The beauty, the art, the chase for the special curios. The tendies were not intentional, I agree, but all the other stuff was. That was intentionally done and created and done well.
And it was intentional for them to only be one set a year. Like that from the very get-go, that was the selling point that they utilized.
You yourself, when we always talk about this, say they won't just do one set a year. They won't just do one set a year, right? And now you said they're doing this, but you just called this not a set. So one set a year is something that doesn't work. We agreed we want to see more than one set a year. We have always agreed on this, you and I.
I agree very selfishly that I want to see more than one set a year. I would love to sell more booster boxes. That's 100% true.
Put yourself in your sorcery fan shoes. You'd also like to open more than one set a year.
Josh, there's a lot of people who argue the opposite of that. Like there's a lot of people who like sorcery because it's one set a year. They don't have to constantly be. Lot of people don't.
There's also a lot of people posting on social media after Arthurian Legends came out, asking when the next set was.
Right, I agree. I think everybody would agree that if sorcery could release more sets a year, they would grow as a business and they would grow as a thing. But if you do that and you have to sacrifice the quality, then you're going to lose a lot of what makes sorcery special and good. Now, I think that the team can grow over a long period of time, and maybe in 2 or 3 years we're at 2 sets a year. But until then, I think this is cool. I think it's a win. I think I rather have a mini set that is DLC and added content than have nothing. And
nobody's saying that's not correct. I'm not claiming don't release 13 dragons, release nothing instead. I'm saying instead of 13 dragons, give me 100 card mini set. Give me Aftermath.
But you can't do that and also have 8 staff members and have
I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's fun. There's expectations there. Listen, Wizards of the Coast can't create groundbreaking technology and fix how every single major company that does massive releases has website breakages on that massive release, but we still expect them to.
That's not true. You said that you didn't expect them to do that.
You just argued to me for 20 minutes. It was a disaster.
Yeah, it was.
And I said, give me a fix. I'm giving you a fix. You said money was an issue for this company. Expand the team and give me a real mini set.
But it's not just money either. Once you release creative control, one of the genius behind sorcery is that Eric is a amazing graphic. He did that for the video game. He sees things and he wants his hand on it, and that's why it looks so good, because he is involved in it. And as soon as you delegate that to some guy who doesn't actually care, you lose quality to it.
You can't convince me that Eric and his genius can only oversee and have that genius applied to 267 cards a year. You can't convince me that stretching to 317 breaks the system. And if it does, it's not that hard of a process change. That's you're saying, hey, give me a fifth of the effort and find space for a fifth of the effort over the course of 365 days.
I think that would be great. I don't think that you have to get there on year 3 of being a card game. I don't think you have to be there right now in 2025. And until you can get there, I think doing something like this is a great opportunity to add some stuff into the card pool and have some fun and keep people excited.
And the back half of that take, no one's disagreed with you on.
Cool. I don't really know what point you're trying to make then, because that's the only point that I've been trying to say.
When we want a mini set, we want an actual mini set. 13 cards is too few. Did I summarize that?
No, but that's the exact opposite of what I just said. I said a mini set is fine. The DLC is fine. And you said that nobody's arguing that point.
No, that's not what you said. You said it's better than nothing.
Right.
I agree with you. It's better than nothing. I don't think it's fine. If my options are that and nothing, I pick that. You know what I want? An actual mini set.
Yeah, sure. All right, let's move on to fourth set of the year for Lorcana. Donald, give it to us, buddy. Tell people why they should go to KitchenTableTCG.com and pre-order Azurite C.
Did you say the old one earlier in the podcast?
I don't think so, but it redirects to my website anyway. So
this is also the first time he's learning the name of the set. So
Azurite, why do they pick so difficult names?
It just makes me think of WoW every time.
What is Azurite C? Give me the lore behind Azurite C.
I don't know. I don't read the lore.
Why do I have to enter my birthday to watch this video?
Because if you're George's age, it kicks you out. Okay.
Oh, I'm ineligible. I put 2017.
Oh,
I'm still ineligible. Am I not going to be able to watch this video?
It doesn't save a cookie or something.
It saves a cookie. I can't watch the video.
You pull up an inspect window and hit Control-Shift-R. It should empty your cache and do a hard reload.
I don't know what that means. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like you're just trying to scam me. What is Azurite C?
It's a C that
Azurite in it. I bet
has Azurite in it.
Is Azurite a precious metal? Is it a liquid?
Yes.
a resource in WoW.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, and they're all fighting over it. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And I can't stop thinking about WoW every time I see it.
So you don't seem very excited about this, Donald.
I don't know anything about the lore. I don't really pay attention to it.
Stopping top 8. Stop asking about lore.
Tell us what's going to be good about the set and what's not.
It's got some good cards. The set is very pirate focused because obviously they're on the sea. So we've had some pirate cards in the first 5 sets sprinkled throughout, but nothing. There wasn't really a pirate synergy before, but now there is. Now there's going to be a pretty decent pirate deck. That's what I'm going to play.
What do pirates do?
Yar.
Plunder.
God, what a good deck.
I mean, it like the best pirate payoff right now is John Silver, and he cares about locations. Like the pirate deck's got to be location based. I know I'm saying words you guys don't understand, but it just makes John Silver better because the deck was already kind of a deck anyway, and it just needed a little bit more support. So I think it got that.
Does the power level seem strong in this set?
I think the power level in this set is up slightly from the last set for sure.
Interesting. I really like the Enchanteds. We talked about the Enchanteds last week. They're all gold now.
They've all been revealed now, so they are all the same. They started this in the third set. Was the third set with Robin Hood? I can't remember now, but anyway, they start is either 3 or 4. They started with all the enchantments were like this portrait style, like it was a painting, and they've kind of in the last set everything was like a big celebration. It all kind of had the same theme going on behind it. So this is the first one that they've leaned like really like it's a very obvious deviation from the other Enchanteds for sure.
Yeah,
but it's kind of the route they've been going with the Enchanted, so that they're themed based on the sets. Do I like it? Do I like these Enchanteds, or do I like the theme, like doing themes of Enchanteds? Those are 2 different things.
This set, do you like the all gold cards?
I need to see it in person.
I was just going to say that same thing if you asked me what I thought.
Yeah, once I see it in person, I'll be able to answer that. Currently, I'm not real super excited about it. Because one of the things about the Enchanted is the foiling process really brings out all the colors and everything.
Yeah.
And with these being so monocolored, I don't know that it'll have the same pop. But I'm reserving judgment until I see it in person.
Now, one of the things that they did with the last set is they have that textured
on the legendaries.
The textured color swipe on the legendaries. I'm wondering if these don't end up having that kind of extruded gel printed textured.
No, I think that's reserved. That's reserved for the legendaries, and you can tell in the art for the legendaries, like they all have a frame break to them, and that's what that's part of that. But also they changed the style. Like these enchanteds are a different full art style. Like the frame, the text box frame is the same as what the store championship promos have moved to. So like they changed the style of the card as well for the enchanteds. The text, the full art treatment is different.
Interesting.
The text box treatment. They're still experimenting. I mean, like they're trying different things. The legendary gel pop thing in the last set was kind of, I mean, you know how excited I was when I opened my box. I was texting you. I was like, oh my God, these look so cool. Like I had no idea. That was such a cool opening experience because nobody knew anything about that. It was like just a complete shock.
And we were like, is this a foil? Is this a non-foil? Is this
I had no idea. And then I finally opened a foil. I think the non-foils look better, but yeah, so it's just like they're not afraid to try new things and see what works and what doesn't, I guess. Like they extended and this is controversial, I guess, depending on who you ask, but they for like the store championships, the promos were just for the top 4. So if you made top 8 and you lost in top 8, you left with nothing, which feels bad.
Yeah.
So in this last store championship, they extended it to all of top 8 gets the promo, which I think is a win.
Yeah.
But then you got people like Toby, for instance, who just goes to as many store championships as he can to win the promos to sell them. He doesn't like that because now the promo is worth less. So
digging on Toby there.
Yeah, he'll never watch it. So it's
names, dude.
Jeez.
But I mean, like, so the people that are wanting to spec on them and make money off them, they don't like that. But I think that's not what that was never the spirit of Lorcana, was to be a top competitive game where you couldn't get the promos and all that stuff. So I think moving it to everybody in the top 8 gets it was a big win.
That's 100% a win. Like that's kind of the way we've had top 8 promos in TCGs for the longest time.
Well, even Magic does. Don't they do a top 8 and a top 4 and a top 1?
I think right? I thought it was top 8 and top 1.
Star Wars does that.
Magic is top 8, top 1.
I think that Lorcana should have just done top 6 and had the big hero 6 cards be the top 6.
Boo!
Terrible take. We do know that Scar is the next Tour Championship promo. Oddly enough, the image that they uploaded on the app of the Scar store promo shows that it is an inkable card, but the card is not inkable. So it'll be interesting to see. And in the other language versions, the store promo is non-inkable. It's just the English that it shows inkable. So it'll be interesting to see if when we get the card, if it actually is, if they've already printed it and they've misprinted them as inkable. I hope so, because that would be sweet.
That'll make them worth something.
So we never get like a true TCG grinder on the podcast anymore, because like none of us get out there and jam like you do. And I want to know from like someone who plays Lorcana events with the community, with real Lorcana players, do you see the collectability in the sense of people blinging out their decks? We know Lorcana has the collectability of like people chasing Disney cards, people chasing Enchanteds. The Disney collectability is very apparent. But in other TCGs, collectability is not just, hey, chase cards sell to other IP fan. It's also, I want to bling out my deck. That's a form of collectability. Is this something that is, rife in Lorcana, or is it something that, like you said, most people just don't like the foils, they just keep the standard version?
The foils in Lorcana are different because they don't curl. They're nice. So people do foil out their decks for sure.
Okay.
It's like funny. We were talking just this last weekend. I was talking to Brian. about there's this 7 dwarf card that when you play it, you discard your hand and draw 2 cards. So it's just a great card in a deck that you have an empty hand. It's just to draw 2 cards. It's a common, so it's like 15 cents. The foil is $15.
That was the way. Remember way back in first chapter, I think Stitch or it was Lilo. It might have been Lilo that was the exact same. She was like the best one drop in the game.
She was the best. She was a rare, but still like
like $20 to $30.
Well, and still to this day, the foils in chapter 1 are pretty expensive. For the playable cards are definitely expensive.
Chapter 1's holding up better than I thought it would. It's still like $200 a box, $250.
Yeah,
and it's still being printed. I mean, you still every time Store Championships roll around, they still give you another stock of chapter 1. Like it's still out there. It's still at all the Disney stores or all the parks, all the Disney parks.
It's crazy.
It's still out there.
Collectability was never a concern with Lorcana. It was always, are we going to get people playing the game? Is it going to stick? And while I will say and I've said this before on my channel, I've said on this podcast, the hype has died down. That in no way means that Lorcana has suffered or is dead. Lorcana,
the attendees have died down. The hype is still there around the game.
Yeah, the gameplay I think has been every bit as.
That's what Lorcana has.
This is something. This is an argument that I had with myself. Because I argue with myself because I don't have anybody else to talk to. So
Louis.
So I was really not a fan of the Universes Beyond thing being all legal in Magic. I don't want to play with Captain America in my standard deck. But then, and the same token, I try and tell someone like Louis, who refuses to play Lorcana because he doesn't want to play with Disney princesses, it's not about what's on the card. The gameplay is awesome. If you erase all the pictures on the card and just play it for the game is fantastic. But it works both ways. There are people that come into Lorcana and play it because they have an affinity for Disney. And there's people that absolutely shy away from it because they have a hatred for Disney. And I think that's the wrong take to have if you enjoy TCGs. The game is very well designed, and doesn't matter whether you care for Disney or not. Just play it for the gameplay.
Right, but that's more relevant to people, and this is not offensive, but who aren't you? That's more relevant for people who aren't the grinders, who aren't trying to top 8 these things. That's more relevant to the people that are sitting and playing with their friends, showing up to an event every once in a while. The fact that you get to either play with those characters or fall in love with the game enough to keep coming back is the magic that is Lorcana. It's just cool to see it live outside of, I want this Disney collector piece.
I have no problem with playing Disney. I just have too many games that I'm already doing and not enough time to like actually commit to consistently playing something like that.
And Lorcana gameplay is fine. I won't ever say it breaks the bank, but
once my daughter knows how,
you haven't played it at a high level though, Josh.
But that's the thing, right? And that's my point. I don't play it at a high level, but you shouldn't have to, right?
No, it is fine.
There is a high level of Lorcana, which is what Donald's trying to say.
I 100%. I agree with him. I've had that same stance as well. It's not something that I think that's not where Lorcana shines the best. It does fine. I'm not saying it's a bad place, but that's not where it shines the brightest.
I mean, and just picking up starter decks and playing them against each other is fun. Like I taught my 9-year-old niece to play with a starter deck, and she loved it.
Yeah, my daughter can read, so I can teach her how to play. Like that'll be a fun. It'll be good entry ramp to Magic.
We had our younger brother played the Dragon Ball Z card game with us and couldn't read, and memorized what all of the cards did because he couldn't read them.
That's what Louis has to do,
and was good.
My daughter could do that. The problem is, like, my other daughter is at the age where she'd just like come up to the table and be like, and throw everything out. You never get 15 minutes to sit down and teach somebody how to play a game. So
the terror, I love it.
All right.
As far as sorry, Josh, or sorry, Louis, Josh. As far as people also like the need to foil out your decks and all that. People 100% play with the enchanteds.
That's cool.
If there is an enchanted available in like a card you're playing, if you go to the DLCs, people are playing with the enchanteds in their deck. I wish I could flex that much. Like I would do it.
Come on, Louis. Yeah. Louis, $4,000 Lorcana deck. Let's do it, baby.
No, I'm good.
The nice thing is though, the enchanteds that aren't Chapter 1 are pretty affordable. I mean, they all set around $100 or less for the most part.
Louis, I'm addicted. PSA 10 graded Lorcana deck.
Dude, the PSA 10 Lorcana cards are fire.
I'm addicted. Let's do it.
We did a PSA 10 Lorcana tournament. It's pretty fun.
Sweet.
All right, let's move on to Pokemon because we're getting over our hour and a half cap on podcasts.
It's because you actually had somebody with interesting things to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here this week.
Pokemon Surging Sparks, real briefly, is still on absolute fire, and so I wanted to chat about that. You have actual data for us?
Dude, what are you?
Let's see it, baby.
Are you new to Homertown TCG?
Yes.
Are you not a channel member?
No, a channel member. He actually has stuff. Are you missing a set there?
I don't think so.
All right, what are we dealing with? $6 million?
No. So we are in the lead up phase, and this is where we see Pokemon shine the brightest, is in that last week of release. We see that with the previous set, Stellar Crown, and this product has fallen off quickly, as most TCGs do. But I think with the stable price of Surging Sparks, we're going to pass Stellar Crown by the end of the week.
Doesn't it release today?
Well, as of the recording of the podcast, yes.
Yeah, like on Friday. This
is that
Friday.
The official release, Louis, or is that the pre-release?
Official release is Friday.
Okay.
Pre-release events were 2 weeks ago, and stores who host pre-release events were able to sell product on Monday.
So
they can't ship yet, right? Until Friday, or can it?
Can't ship till Friday.
Yeah.
The reduced number of boxes, though, I believe, has got casual Pokemon fans a bit shook, because I can't go and buy my $100 booster box.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this for a year, that like the ability to buy Pokemon booster boxes on TCG Player at distro cost is amazing, and people should be taking advantage of it.
Right.
We're not going to be back there for months, man. The excitement for Pokemon right now is pandemic level.
It's
excitement.
Do you think
where did that come from?
Do you think it's going off the rails a little bit? I do.
I think this is my take on it. Listen, every time Pokemon pumps, everyone says it's off the rails, it's going to zero, it's whatever. I think that people weren't super excited about Scarlet and Violet. I think those people went away. Then I think the catalyst for almost everybody was they announced and they teased out the Team Rocket set. And that set is coming out in, I believe, January or February. They teased out the Team Rocket set. And all of a sudden, all these people who were like pandemic Pokemon fans who had fallen away because they got their life back were like, hey, Team Rocket is amazing. And I'm excited about Team Rocket because it brings back the rocket sets from when we were kids, and it brings back all that excitement. I'm interested in Pokemon again. And then they start looking, they say, oh my gosh, I can crack some packs for $95 a box. Hell yeah. They buy some packs. And then now this set comes out and it's got Pikachu in it. It's got Latios and Latios. It's, and on top of that, they fixed the pull rate issues, the artwork throughout Scarlet and Violet has been top tier. I think the artwork is better in Scarlet and Violet than it was.
There's a lot of cool hits. You're right.
Yeah, than it was, and not even expensive hits, but just cool cards. Like they're not expensive, but they look cool. And so I think that has driven a ton of interest in this, and this set particularly. The pull rates, I mean, I was watching some people try to pull this Pikachu. It seems like Evolving Skies level pull rates, which is not what Scarlet and Violet has been. The pull rates in Scarlet and Violet have been like, oh, you want that Charizard? Here, open half a pack and you can have 3 of them. Like, it's been so easy to pull the rare cards, and they fixed that with the with Twilight Masquerade, and that's why the Greninja is so expensive. And it seems like they fixed that here, and which is why the Pikachu is going to be so expensive.
Yeah, and to that point, the second half of Scarlet and Violet, and again, TCG player sales are not the end all be all. Most Pokemon sales, an overwhelming majority, don't occur on this platform. But it's fun to watch the products that do live on this platform perform differently based on the community approval. And we do see, I mean, like, look, you see Paldean Fates, not the greatest, and then it ended up, didn't bring in the most amount of money. But you do get things like Temporal Forces. Things started to pump. We do see things pick up. You mentioned Twilight Masquerade, right? The Twilight Masquerade booster box is just popping off. And Pokemon is something where you normally see the Elite Trainer box, because of that price point, be so much closer. I've always had the take, and Louis, I think you agree with me, Pokemon does that $40 to $60 product better than almost anyone else.
Yeah.
Like, it's frankly, it's not close.
And a lot of the sealed... So there's obviously various levels for sealed collecting and investing.
Of course.
The entry level for Pokemon investing is like, I'm going to buy an ETB of every set and keep that back because it looks good on a shelf. The Pokemon booster boxes are ugly as hell. Like, they don't look good on a shelf. They're like, they all look the same. They have just the tiny little logo in it. Like, I think the entry level collector investor buys the Elite Trainer box of each set, so that probably has something to do with it too.
Sure, but in my opinion, this is the catalyst. 151 breathed new life into Pokemon.
I don't know. It was kind of stale for a while there.
But it proved that a Pokemon set can do what Pokemon sets do in a shorter term than they had been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon set can come out, can be stable, can be available, can get the community going, can have people excited about it, and then can go up quicker than, hey, this set from 4 years ago is going up really hard, right? It can have we ran out of Pokemon boxes.
Is that 13,000 booster bundles? That
is 13,000 booster bundles for $500,000 moved on the platform. Average cost is the most wild part. $43. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So this set, in my opinion, brought back hey, Pokemon can still do what Pokemon does. It did it better than any other set. It targeted people who have nostalgia, check for Pokemon, check for people like me who are old, and it targeted exactly what they're nostalgic about, and we have money in our pockets. Yeah. That was the catalyst to, like, okay, hey, you can feel safe buying Pokemon again. Now, the question is, if the Team Rocket set has all the hype, goes a little more poorly, do we start to see that begin to fall off?
So, like, frankly, I think the Pokemon model is have weak sets at the beginning of the era, because this was how Sword and Shield was too. The sets were kind of weaker. You had Chilling Reign. You had like some of these like sets that didn't do very well. And then
Strike with none of the hits in the box.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the back end of the era was pumping and was amazing. That's what we're seeing here again. So I think they're going to finish out this era really, really well, and then they're going to use that hype and they're going to launch into the next era, and they're going to not launch the new video game, and that's going to roll into the new era. And like Scarlet and Violet always seemed like a weird one to me because the Pokemon they chose to like start the era out with were kind of lame. Like nobody really knows them, that kind of thing. I don't know. I am into the hype, and I think frankly the next 2 months you got two major catalysts for the Pokemon market in the next 2 months. Number one, I'm actually going to sell some of this news, full disclosure. Number one is the TCG Player 10% back that they just announced. So TCG Player on Cyber Weekend, so all 4 days from the end of Thanksgiving till Cyber Monday, is doing 10% back in store credit if on all products, and 13% back if you are a member or whatever. The the thing. Make sure you use my affiliate link in the description of my videos when you go buy stuff. Louis gets 3% back for you. So like the sealed product on TCG Player is gonna go nuts. Like I'm gonna sell a bunch of the stuff that I've been like just stocking up on over the last. I've been buying Pokemon like crazy for the last year from distro.
Right.
Every single bundle they do, I take the max amount. I have stacks of random mass Pokemon just kind of everywhere. And so that's a huge catalyst. And then the other catalyst is Christmas. Like, you know how many kids want 151 packs for Christmas? There's a lot of kids who want 151. You know how many kids want a box of Surging Sparks for Christmas? ETB of Surging, like there's a ton of demand for this going into the holiday season, and it's not going to slow down the market at all.
Well, but let's be fair, right? Because when there is this situation, and then I'll throw it to Donald here, there is a moment where things can be overprinted, right? We can get reprints. We can get, it's not like Pokemon has been known to not over reprint, right? So these catalyst moments, they have been managing this fairly well, especially in the recent history this year. But let's not say there's no opportunity for failure. There's no.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know that they can get more boxes out before the holiday season. They can't get more into the print. Well, they own their own printers, so maybe. But like the logistics of getting more of this product in a significant amount out, I think is not going to happen. I think if I was a Pokemon and sealed product investor, I would not be telling you, hey, you should go and buy product right now. That is, this set will certainly see another print wave. You will certainly see more Surging Sparks. I would not suggest that you go buy for your sealed collection $161 boxes of Surging Sparks.
Agreed.
Although I would have said the same thing about Evolving Skies when they were $175. Like there is.
But Evolving Skies had a good period where it wasn't $175.
Evolving Skies was flat for a long time. It also came out in the pandemic, so like the reprint was different. Like you
didn't need as much in the reprint.
Yeah, and it's a much different world when we couldn't print boxes because of COVID. Like it,
Yeah. Remember when we couldn't say COVID on YouTube?
Yeah.
Wild. No, I think Pokemon's great. Pokemon. You know what Pokemon does better than anyone else is the collectability of cards that just come out. Like no one
cards to flip and grade.
Other games need time. Other games need to have that stamp to be out for a little while for things to go down. The Pokemon cards that are collectible in a set are just collectible right away, and the community refuses to make them not collectible. Like that's
because that's all Pokemon is. No one plays the game.
That's
it's
very
really
fair.
just collectible.
Yes, Louis, I know that the one person
100% true.
And their grandma came to you on game night, and it was the sweetest moment, and they also played the game. The overwhelming majority of people who buy Pokemon products do not play the game.
I agree with that.
So do not jump on him for making that statement because he's right.
There's a brand. Actually, this is kind of cool. The new Pokemon app. I actually just downloaded it while I was putting my kid to bed tonight. The new Pokemon. What's it actually called? Pokemon.
My Discord is jumping with the Pokemon Pocket app. Yeah. That thing.
And a lot of people are learning how to play with that. Like I've seen quite a few collectors be like, yeah, I actually went through the thing to learn how to play, and I want to learn how to play.
Everyone's got the Lorcana take for Pokemon after Pokemon Pocket. Wow, this game's actually pretty good. You remember when people were like, no one's going to play Lorcana, and then they played it and like, oh, this game's actually pretty good. Pokemon. I don't think
it is I think the game. I don't think Pokemon's good. I think the game's not that great.
My Discord overwhelmingly disagrees with you.
I want to get a Neo League going for Pokemon, vintage Pokemon. It'd be so much fun.
I'm not playing in any Pokemon. I got enough. Louis, behind the scenes, I got some Pokemon stuff going on. I'm trying some things. Yeah. I'm putting it on the line, baby.
Josh has the bug bad, and I love it.
I'm putting it on the line. The company's putting it on the line right here, right now. Pokemon, don't fail me now.
I like the Pikachu card. Looks good.
Yeah, listen, spoiler alert, Charizard and Pikachu sell well.
Yeah. I do think, again, like, I think the set will die down eventually, but I don't see it dying down before Christmas. Like, I think if you're going to spend money on Pokemon, if you want to open Surging Sparks with your family, with your friends, buy it now, enjoy it. I think it's fine. But if you want to invest, I would look at there's still boxes you can get for $95. And listen, you won't be able to get those boxes in a year for $95. I promise. But
not financial advice.
It's basically financial advice.
Hashtag not my channel. So whatever.
Why do people?
I make that joke every time. Why do I have to say this? Look at me. I'm in a dusty basement surrounded by cardboard. I shouldn't have to tell you this isn't financial advice.
The most, $107 you can get Stellar Crown for. Like, I don't know, man.
And Stellar Crown was it's a set that, I mean, the TCG players data says compared to other sets in its era, it's selling extremely well.
It's got some good looking cards too. That Squirtle. It's got the Squirtle. It's got the Bulbasaur. It's got some good cards in it.
Yeah.
God, this is just going to become a Pokemon podcast someday, isn't it? It doesn't have the big chase is the problem. But.
No, but like that's kind of the set. If you're cracking packs and stuff, you're overwhelming more often than not. You're going to feel like you got your money out of that specific pack more so than Pokemon. And I know Pokemon's all about the big chase, but it's nice to like have more than half your packs have some value in it.
Yeah. Love it. Okay, let's get to the secret sauce. I've been excited all week.
You're still going to do the secret sauce even though we're this late? Wow.
No, this is very important.
Okay,
Because
I'm in.
I actually already had this conversation with George because I knew he wasn't going to be on the podcast. But I want you guys to imagine you go to your dentist. You lay yourself down in the dentist chair, and the dentist comes up to you and they ask, do you want to watch TV? What is the correct answer?
Yes, and I want to watch the Saw franchise.
You want to watch the Saw?
Oh, God.
If I'm in, baby. If you're going to torture me, torture me.
That's actually, that would be hilarious, watching Saw.
Do you get to choose what you're watching?
I don't know. My answer has always been no. When the dentist says, do you want to watch
You've been asked this more than once?
But how?
Yeah, they ask that every time I go to the dentist.
It's not a clean TV watching experience,
Wait,
right?
Donald, your dentist doesn't ask you if you want to watch TV?
Never.
Wait, I forgot you're from West Virginia. When's the last time you went to the dentist?
You don't have to answer that on this podcast.
Literally like 3 weeks ago.
Your dentist doesn't have a TV?
No.
Huh. Maybe you're not middle class.
I think I'm more.
I guess not.
If I'm watching TV, I'm going to watch TV. If they put the TV on and then I have to have a conversation with my dentist, which
okay, so
that's the trope, right? That's the joke. You've got stuff in your mouth and you want to have a conversation. But if you put the TV on, I don't want to do that. But also, not a clean experience. Like you got.
Maybe it's that I went to the dentist this week and it was election week, so the only TV would have been on is the election. I
definitely don't want to watch election coverage at my dentist.
Right, but like, I think for me it was like I say no because what am I going to watch comfortably next to somebody I don't know? Like, I'm not going to watch South Park, right? Like, I'm not going to watch. What am I going to watch? Like,
you can't watch South Park because what if your dentist chuckles? Like,
right? Yeah,
you don't want that, and you can't watch a scary movie because
you can't watch the news because that's just going to get into like political nonsense.
Right now, you got to have a political conversation with your dentist.
Yeah, like I feel like there's no correct show to watch at the dentist, so the answer is no. So I said that. Okay, I come home. Oh, first off, I asked the dentist, and the dentist said less than 50% of the people watch TV. I was actually a little surprised by that, but it also made sense to me. Like I don't. So then I asked my wife and I asked George, and both of them are like, absolutely, you watch TV. What else are you going to do? And I was like, I just sat there.
I closed my eyes.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I close my eyes and hope it's over.
That's what I said.
I don't think they thought it through. Did they give you examples of what they'd watch?
My wife said The Office, which I thought was
no, because you can't start laughing.
I mean,
that's fair.
Terrible.
If you're a kid, this is great because it makes them sit still.
100%. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about as an.
But now Donald said it's shedding some important light on this conversation. You do act like a giant child.
That's fair. I think the kid part is fair. Like kids should watch. I think like that.
That's probably why it got offered to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that
Wait, Josh,
That's-
your dentist doesn't have a TV either?
No,
Really?
no.
That's amazing to me. My
No.
dentist has like a TV. It's on a swivel, and they swivel it like right in front of your. I assume they put it like right in front of your.
Hey, I
face.
don't think I'm middle class either, Donald. I'm starting
No.
to learn some stuff.
Now, when I get my haircut, there's a TV in the mirror.
What?
Can I? What?
Yeah,
Wait,
like in the mirror, in the mirror,
wait a
there's a
second.
TV.
Wait a second. You get your haircut?
Wait,
I get this part cut right here.
I'm getting my haircut. It's the worst experience.
Actually, I found a haircut guy. Donald's right by my house. It's amazing. It's one guy. He probably does like 50 haircuts a day. It's like he's got a hose connected to his trimmer thing.
Yeah.
And he's just vroom, 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 vroom. It's like a 6-minute haircut. Vroom. You get out of there. It's great. He's all cash. He's like, it's a West Virginia thing.
Yeah, it always takes an hour, and then you got some 22-year-old in whatever the latest style is asking you what you're doing this weekend. And you're always like, I'm going to the park with my kid and going to gymnastics class. Like, what are you doing? I'm waiting for the group text to go out with my boys. I'm like, I just don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I wish I could go out with my boys. Like you just.
My wife called me a psychopath for the TV thing. By the way, she's like, what do you? She's like, what do you do? I said, I don't talk to her. Like, she asked me a question and I barely answer.
How are you supposed to answer anyway when they're inside? Right.
And after she asked the first question, she got that. You could tell she was like, "Oh, that was stupid of me to ask. What are you doing this weekend?" While I had my saw in your mouth, like. That was dumb. Like, and we just hung out, and then at the end, she was like, "Well, you need anything else?" I was like, "No, thank you so much."
Hold it. I want to make it clear. You and your dentist didn't hang out. She performed a procedure.
Yeah, she cleaned my teeth.
You didn't just hang out. You weren't in the lobby reading magazines together.
I think that is the normal way to go to the dentist. I think it is insane to think through. I'm gonna watch TV, and then it's like they put the TV at. How long are you gonna look for a channel before you're just like the psycho in the chair?
Does she give you
for
the remote?
14 minutes. I don't know. I didn't.
Well, now for science. Next time you got to say yes.
I'll check back in 6 months. But, all right, everyone.
I don't know what bougie dentist you go to, but like that's not a normal people problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Never had it.
It is.
No, it's just you, your wife, and George. That those are the people that this is.
Just because
aimed
my
towards.
dentist is in a trailer somewhere doesn't mean that it's any worse.
All right, everyone. Go subscribe to Josh's channel so he can afford a real dentist.
It's not going to help. I'm spending it on the server and Pokemon cards.
Shop at KitchenTableTCG.com. You can go subscribe to Donald's channel at Scruffy Looking Gaming.
Is that live again?
It never went away. It's just never done. It's just still there.
Make content.
Just no content.
Enjoy.
If you want to watch some cryptic content, you can.
Enjoy your week, everybody. Remember to be kind to the people around you. May the zoo be with you.
And also with you.
And with me.